is the Fade 5 Podcast with Brad Evans and Nate Lundy.
Place your bets, you jackwagons. Brad the Big Noise Evans here, joined by the good son of Daniel Lundy. 'Tis indeed another Friday edition of the Fade 5 Podcast. And we're already clutching tickets in hand because we're about to hop aboard the Hong Kong Plus Bus. Here's a requirement. You got to play by the rules. Plus 100 odds or greater. Choose your sport. Choose your ticket, my man. Fire off in that sucker. Let's make some plus money here in the end. What do you got for me?
Playing by the rules cost me over $400 last night, Brad, and that is because Seattle decided to have a little illegal shift on that touchdown.
Yeah.
Between the catch, the yards, and the TD, if you combine all the different ways that I had DK bet last night, it was over $400 that was lost.
I lost a considerable amount too on that Guerrero long run, and then it set up use check touchdown that was meaningless really at the end of the game because I had Seattle plus 10.5 the outline. I had a parlay with Jordan Mason on the 70 or more rush yards, and I lost. So I feel your pain, man.
Yeah.
A lot of bad beats last night.
Right there. I had Seattle plus 9.5. You had them plus 10.5. We both got hosed on that. Yeah. But hey, who wouldn't want to score a touchdown and then go jump into a suite to hug your wife?
That's true.
That's
we
fun. Let's have some fun on the ice tonight. I've got a grand total of 4 games on the schedule. It gets a little busier tomorrow, so we'll have some hockey picks up on the spreadsheet for you tomorrow in a packed Saturday of contest. But we do have 4 going on this evening. Now, I will tell you, the middle leg that you see there on your screen here on the U of Tube is the one that is a little bit of a head scratcher, but I've still got some confidence in it's going to happen as they take on the Chicago Blackhawks. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take Vegas at home. Oh, yeah, that's always nice. Winnipeg at home. And at the same time, Vancouver at home. And what I need is the Canucks, the Jets, and the Golden Knights to each score at least 3 goals in their contest. So it doesn't matter whether they win or lose. I just need them to score 3 times. And if you look at some of the history, it should happen. You got the home ice advantage as well. I'm staying away from the Carolina-Tampa game, by the way. I'm leaving that one out of this one. But with these 3 teams, if they each can score at least 3 goals, we're looking at a plus 152 payday over at DraftKings. I can tell you that there is a boost at DK for some of the hockey action tonight. If you use it on this particular parlay, it will jump this up to over plus 200. It'll get you to about 203, 204. If this is going to happen, I will likely use that boost over on some points, some player props instead of this one because we have been we have been red hot on the ice over the course of the first 3 nights of play. Not only on the spreadsheet, but there's been a couple that I have not bothered to put on the spreadsheet that I probably should have because we'd all be rolling around in money across the bed sheets this evening. But Vancouver, Winnipeg, and Vegas, 3 or more goals apiece, plus 152 over at DK.
Yeah, I love that, especially with the boost there that you threw out there if you want to apply it. Mine not nearly as juicy as Lundy's. Little baby seduced by the juice here on the 2-legger. We got some Friday night college football action. And here's how I'm going to play a couple of the games. Give me Maryland on the money line at home, taking on the Northwestern Wildcats. And then give me Arizona State. I'm going to take it up a tick from 6.5 to 7.5. I was like, I'd still lose the sucker by a touchdown, the extra point. And I still cash in on that leg. You put that together at FanDuel Sportsbook, it's a plus 102. Let me give you the background on that Northwestern Maryland matchup. Northwestern has been one of the worst Power 5 conference teams so far this season. Number 100 EPA per play offense, somebody 76 in EPA per play defense. Maryland top 25 in offense and defense this season. My friends at College Football Insiders have it projected Maryland 31.56 to 14.43, given the Terps and that turtle power, a 90.2% chance of winning it straight up on the money line, which I feel is going to cash. And then I think Arizona State could outright win the game tonight. We're going to see if Cam Rising is actually under center. And even if he is, he's going to be largely rusty. You could say that for the Utah Utes. I know Utah's got that shiny ranking next to the name, and that's going to draw a lot of people, but they're number 83 in the nation. EPA per play offense, a much better defensive team, number 37. But Arizona State, the Sun Devils, much like Maryland, balanced and underrated. 34 at EPA offense, 30 at EPA defense. Caulfield Insiders has ASU winning that game by 5 points, and I'm catching 7.5. So feeling really good about this. Little two-legger. Terps, money line, Devils plus 7.5, plus 102. Let's start off the weekend on the right foot there at FanDuel Sportsbook. With those bets on the board, let's get after it with a Friday edition of the Fade 5.
Number 5.
Numero 5, mi amigos, on the countdown. Let's go to the alt market, which burned Lundy repeatedly here lately, but hopefully this will not leave him in the infirmary by any stretch of the imagination. Tyler Allgeier, I'm going to go 40 or more rush yards against those clawless Panthers of Carolina. The Hello Kitties of Charlotte, I like to call them. That's even money. So little baby seduced by the juice there at plus 100 at DraftKings. Entirely doable. I think Bijan's going to have himself a game. Bijan's probably going to get 70% of the opportunity share. But the meat left on the bone, that 30% is going to go to Tyler Allgeier. I think this is going to be probably an 8 to 10 carry game for him. And that's all he is going to need. He has got over 50 yards, not once, but twice. All we need is 40 to cash in 3.70 in the NFL. And yards after contact per attempt, that's number 7th best. He's forced 7 missed tackles on just 33 rush attempts on that 31.2% of the opportunity share. And look at the Panthers, number 25 in rush EPA defense, have been woeful in every defensive facet you can imagine. 4.25 yards per carry allowed and 126 rush yards per game just to the running back position. In fact, seven RBs have gone for 40 or more rush yards already on the young year against them. I think Allgeier and Bijan will easily add their names to the list. So to recap, numero 5, mi amigos, on the Feed 5 countdown, Tyler Allgeier, be a tank. 40 or more rush yards in Carolina, plus 100 at DK Lundy. Fade or follow.
Is this just like what it was for us back in like May with the Washington Nationals, where we're just picking on them?
Yeah.
And so you're just picking on Carolina?
Sure, why not?
Is that
it's a gravy train, man.
Yeah, you might as well. You got an opportunity to do it. Yes, I think both of these guys, you talked about Bijan, I think they're both going to wind up running, even though it's a road game going up against Carolina, but this is the right matchup to be able to exploit when it comes to the yards on the ground. And hopefully these guys are scampering and we're not sweating late.
Caca! Fly high, you stinking Atlanta Falcon.
Number 4.
Numero 4 here with the Fade 5 countdown. Oh my goodness. I am defying the Evans family name. I am fading my cousin, Mike Evans. Give me the under on 4.5 receptions. Taking on the New Orleans Saints on the road there at the Crescent City, minus 110 at BetMGM. A little bit of a history here between Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore, to say the least. And I was looking up the historical data. Mike Evans, and this is real, folks, has gone under 4.5 catches in 11 straight games against the New Orleans Saints. If you go all the way back to 2018, that's quite the streak. Yes, I know he's been over in 3 of 5 games this year on 4.5 receptions, but Marshawn Lattimore, get back to what he used to be, and that's a shutdown DB. He's only given up a 55.6% catch rate and a 74.3 passer rate in his assignments. Sure, a handful of guys, 5 guys to be exact, have gone for at least 5 or more catches against the fleur-de-lis this season, but New Orleans as a collective, number 6 in pass EPA defense. So given the history, given the on-paper matchup, given the success rate defensively, defending the pass the Saints have had, Mike Evans living in that land down under 4.5 catches in New Orleans, minus 110 at BetMGM. Lundy, Vader follow.
Yeah, this is one of those on the surface you're thinking, nah, no way, no way. But man, the history between these two, no love lost, right?
No, really,
None whatsoever. And I think it continues. And look, it's on the road. It's all those kinds of things. You might decide you wanted to play it differently if it were taking place in Tampa. Thankfully, it's not, due to all the weather and all the damage that took place there. But this matchup in the Crescent City, I'm kind of okay with this. It's scary because you think about the fact that it could change at any moment, but history tells you to roll with this one.
Let the fist fly between Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore. Again, sorry, Evans family.
Number 3.
Numero tres here on the Fade 5 countdown. I'm going to live and lay down under again. This time, I'm going to go to the quarterback position and a guy taking on Lundy's Denver Broncos. And in fact, this one being played in the Mile High City. I think Lundy may be in attendance for this game. Are you going to be there, Lundy? Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there in the South Stands throwing back Modelo's.
Yeah, it's probably going to finish like 9-6. That's
how we're to the point. Brad, we're to the point now that the concession stand that is right behind my section, I just come walking up, and she knows to just go grab a Modelo for me. Okay, I'm just saying. There's 74,000 people in that stadium, and she's like, "Oh yeah, here comes that guy."
Yeah, I know that guy with the finely coiffed hair. Immediately going to go get the Modelo Especial, and I'm going to put a lime in it as well because he likes to put fruit in the beer. Who doesn't? I mean, it's delicious. It's meant to be. It's a perfect marriage.
It does.
And so is betting.
It aligns perfectly, and so does the battle this weekend between these two former Ducks.
Yeah, true. And who's going to be turned into foie gras? I think it's going to be Justin Herbert. Give me that under 187.5 pass yards. They're taking on the Denver Broncos at a -115 juice at BetMGM. The Broncos have been spectacular defensively. Surtain and friends, number 3 in pass EPAD. They're only giving up 5.78 pass yards per attempt and 181.4 pass yards per game. 4 quarterbacks have already hit the under on this prop. And what confidence would you have in Justin Herbert, who's not at 100%, still dealing with that high ankle issue? And so he is going to be limited with his pocket mobility. He's only number 31 in total air yards, number 31 in deep ball completion percentage, number 21 overall in adjusted completion percentage, and has hit the under on this in all 4 games. I know he's fresh off the bye, but this is a conservative scheme under Harbaugh. They're very defensive minded. It's going to be a lot of a ground and pound approach there with J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. This is going to be a low scoring game. You got the total in the mid-30s for a damn reason. Justin Herbert, I think, is going to be lucky to get to 160 yards, let alone 188 to hit the over. That's why I'm taking the under on Herbert. 187.5 pass yards in Denver, -115 at BetMGM. Lundy, Vader follow.
Denver's defense is for real. Vance Joseph is getting everybody's attention, and in fact, there's and look, the most valuable coach right now in Denver is Vance Joseph.
Yeah.
Period. End of story.
Yeah.
So what he's been able to do in getting this defense going, finding the right times to blitz, force some pressure in on those quarterbacks. I think that they have really recovered. I mean, look, everybody remembers the 70-point drubbing that they took down in South Beach last season. But what's crazy is if you look at this defense since then, they have been really good. And frankly, I'm surprised. I was one of the people that was really disappointed when they let Justin Simmons go and allowed him to go to Atlanta. I like Simmons as a person. I loved him as a player as well. But they have found a way to be able to keep things going. And what did Antonio Brown say on Twitter earlier this week? His cracker of the week was Riley Moss, the opposite corner from where Pat Surtain is. And in fact, I'll go one better. Brad, you want me to do a little name drop?
Please do.
Want me to name drop?
Entertain me.
I will be in attendance in the game on Sunday, but I'll also be in attendance at Pat Surtain's charity event tonight.
Look at you.
The wife and I are going to get dressed up. I'm going to try to get like whatever this ugly thing is to actually look appropriate for public viewing. And we're headed out to a charity event that he is hosting. He does some really cool stuff with the schools here in Denver, so I'm excited to be there. But I think this is one where they're going to hold him down. I think 188 is too high. Could he get to 165, 170? Yeah, but 188 to me, too high.
Yeah, hey, make sure you apply some foundation before you go out in public, my man.
Dude, I need clay. Like I need to be completely remodeled, my man.
Well, you know what? If you want a proper remodeling for your bank account, probably do the opposite of what we recommend at thegamingjuice.com. It's absolutely free. We're cranking out all kinds of content, whether it's fantasy football related. My ranks are living there. My fantasy and flames are living there. Could be gambling as well. Lundy's got his always free and always transparent spreadsheet for the NHL posted there on site. Brandon Velasquez cranking out some hockey content as well. Ben Wittenstein and Nate Jacobson ahead of a loaded college football slate, have all kinds of game breakdowns with picks, and you don't pay a single penny. My free spreadsheet lives there. I'm going to have a chat. So we have our slow chat. The Ask Brad section is already open for business. If you got any fantasy questions, drop them in there. Some people drop in some sports betting takes as well, and I answer those. And it's entirely free at thegamingjuice.com. Go there right now. Sign up. It's absolutely free. Click, converse, and cash. ... Maybe.
Number 2.
Numeritos here on the Fade 5 Countdown. We don't have to serve this up with a side of green jelly by any stretch of the imagination because he is going to cook on the field, and that is CeeDee Lamb. No skipping involved in the disc man for the wide receiver of the Dallas Cowboys. I have to say he goes for at least 90 receiving yards in one of the marquee matchups of the NFL Week 6 weekend, taking on Detroit there in Big D. That's an even Steven plus 100 juice available at DraftKings. I even kind of like the over on 100 yards. I know we haven't got there yet this season, but you can get that right now at a plus 135 juice at BetMGM. But on the 90 yards prop, let me give a little bit of background on that. Detroit just number 21 in pass EPA defense this season. And Lamb lines up primarily in the slot. He'll get some snaps outside as well. Pretty versatile receiver, one of the best in the business. Going to get a lot of Amik Robertson when he is inside there in the slot. And Robertson's been pretty good in coverage. Giving up a 67.6 pass rating and 53.3% catch rate. However, look at the other slot guys that Detroit has faced this season. Cooper Kupp, well north of 100 yards. Chris Godwin, well north of 100 yards. DK Metcalf, who only sees about 12% of his snaps in the slot, lines up primarily outside. He had over 100 yards against them as well. CeeDee Lamb is, of course, that caliber, if not better than all three of those guys in the NFL right now, and all we need is 90 to cash. Lamb, 8.2 targets per game, 15.1 yards per reception. He is number 6 in total yak, number 12 in total route wins, and he has gotten to at least 90 yards in 2 games already. Make it 3, mi amigos. CeeDee Lamb, make me some loonies. 90-plus receiving yards against the Lions, plus 100 at DraftKings. Lundy, my numeritos play here with the Fade 5 Countdown. Fade or follow?
I think I'm going to fade because I don't trust the boys right now. I don't trust them on the road. I don't trust them on the home. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not. No, right now I've got a really hard time with this Dallas squad. They should be doing better. I know the matchups. You talk about slot. We talk wherever we want to put seat. I don't trust them right now. I just don't. I think that's the best way that I can put it. So this is a little bit of a TYG, a little bit of the trust your gut kind of concept that I just don't know whether I can count on this guy because I should be able to. I should. But this is a team that got embarrassed at home by New Orleans. I'm going to fade you on this one, brother. I don't think he gets up to that number. I think he gets a decent number. I just don't think he gets to 90.
5 out of 5 on the confidence scale for your boy. I am playing CeeDee Lamb over 90 yards and over 100. The hell with it.
Number 1.
Numero uno here, the Fade 5 Countdown. Again, my top play NFL week. Numero 6, Swifties unite. DeAndre Swift gave me the over on 18.5 receiving yards across the pond to Joliet, England at the butt crack of dawn for you West Coasters out there. Against those Jaguars at a minus 110 juice available at BetMGM. This line has crept up. Admittedly, if you always check out the always free, always transparent spreadsheet at thegamingjuice.com. I grabbed this about 3 days ago when it opened at 16.5. It's up a couple of ticks. I even got a little sprinkle in the alt market, 25 or more receiving yards, and I grabbed that at plus 160. I think Swift is going to sweep the board and all those thresholds, whether on the standard line or the alternate line. Why? Because Jacksonville's been so forgiving to pass catching running backs. You look at Swift specifically, a guy that's averaging 14.8 routes per game, a healthy 11.8 target percentage. He's running a route on 43.5% of his snaps played. He's also averaging the fourth highest yards per reception at 11 flat of any running back in the league. He's top 10 in yards per route run. You look at the Jags, 6 guys, a half dozen have already hit the over on this prop at the running back position against them. They're giving up 6.6 receptions per game and 57 yards per game. Our friends at BetAnalytics love the over on the original line. They are forecasting 17.79, but I still will play this thing up as high as like 25 or more yards. I think he's going to be a busy man. I know game script is very important to the receiving yards prop, but I think this game is going to be nip and tuck. There are a lot of people picking the Jags to win this thing straight up. So if the Bears do fall behind, have to deal with a deficit, it's going to be check down city off the hand of Caleb Williams and DeAndre Swift, and he's going to clean up in the second half. So again, my number one play here on the Fade 5 Countdown, DeAndre Swift. Give me the over 18.5 receiving yards in London against the Jags, minus 110 at BetMGM. Lundy, better follow.
You know my opinion. I don't like I don't like futures bets. I don't bet on the W, and I don't like messing with the London games.
Yep.
They just piss me off, Brad. That's what it is. They just piss me off because something weird happens. The idea, shoot, man, it's 6:30 in the morning when these games start over on the West Coast.
Dude, crack open a Boddington, sit back and enjoy.
Oh, what do you, hey, shh, don't tell anybody my secret. That's not nice. That's not nice at all. I don't appreciate you telling people I'm drinking at 7:30 in the morning on a Sunday.
Hey, it's a weekend. Who cares?
You don't do that. Some people are getting, all gussied up to go to church. I'm cracking a Guinness. Let's not tell the public that, okay?
And your skivvies, no.
Oh, that's not true. That's not true. I got too many windows in my house and too many neighbors nearby for me to be walking around like that. Play the over here on DeAndre. Get the total up. Let's see if he can hit 20.
All right. Hopefully, number one's going to cash in. And what else is hopefully going to cash in? Bonus time. Oh, Lundy, it's almost the perfect confluence of sports seasons. I can't wait until basketball gets underway, but we're nearing it. The NHL, you've been dropping the puck and making some bucks. You're off to a sizzling start in that sport. You got the MLB playoffs. We got more NFL action. We got the college gridiron as well. Entertain me, and more importantly, fat my wallet. What do you got?
Yeah, I got a couple of things I want to talk about for Sunday, and this prop is not up on DraftKings right now. I don't know whether they will wind up not offering it or not, but one of the props that I found last night before everything kicked off on Thursday Night Football with the Hawks and the Niners is there was a bet you could do at DraftKings at minus 110, even money, for each team to have a rushing touchdown. Didn't have to declare who it was that was going to score the rushing touchdown. You just needed both teams to get a rushing touchdown. Obviously, Juszczyk took care of that late in the game, screwed Brad and I up on some of our props. But that wound up happening. It is not posted right now, but if DraftKings does it between now and Sunday afternoon, I like that prop for the game between the Falcons and the Panthers. Just want to throw that out there. If they make it available, and I can tell you folks, when you go into DraftKings, you click on the particular game, it is under game specials. That's where this prop can be found, is under game specials. So just keep an eye on it. Or, like I said, it's a prop that they throw out there for a handful of different games. So if there's another game that you like what's going to go on the ground, or maybe what you like going on during the air, I know we go and look at very specific player props, like we zero in on guys like DeAndre Swift or on Justin Herbert or whatever, but there are some game specials and some prop specials that DK offers that I think are really cool. And one of them, like I said, we cashed it last night at minus 110, is this idea of each team to do X, right? And some of those I think are low-hanging fruit, and I really liked that one last night. If they make it available, I like it between the Falcons and the Panthers.
Can I give you my pick if it is available?
Sure.
How about Washington and Baltimore? If I can get that at like minus 110, I would even buy it up to like minus 120. You got Derrick Henry. I know Brian Robinson Jr. is a game-time decision, but Jane Daniels, Austin Eckler could easily score on the ground, so I love that one.
I don't see it posted yet, but like I said, I didn't snag that one last night until probably a couple hours before kickoff. So just keep an eye out for it. Like I said, it's kind of a cool way to be able to play some of these games because it talks to you about game script, play calling expectations, and not necessarily very specific players. So just something to keep an eye on. Again, it's on the NFL side. It's under game specials is where DraftKings has that posted for you. Last night we cashed, thankfully, right out of the gate on the over on the 23.5 longest reception on DK Metcalf. I gave that one to you yesterday as one of my favorite props to be able to do, and he cashed it obviously with that 30-yard grab right out of the gate. I feel the same way on Sunday about Terry McLaurin against Baltimore. His is sitting at, I think, either 22 or 23. I like the same prop on him. Give me the over on his longest reception. I think he can hook up with Daniels and get that taken care of in that Baltimore game. So I'm going to play the over on that one as well. More props for Sunday being able to get posted up for you here before too long. Let me go to the Padres and the Dodgers coming up this evening. By the way, I think the Padres pull off the upset tonight. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Oh, wow.
I
Shock
think they
the
do.
world.
I think they do. This Padres team has no problem playing at Chavez Ravine. But with that in mind, let me give you a way that I want to be able to play this one this evening. Give me the Padres plus 2.5. Just got to keep it close, y'all. That's all we need. Keep it close. Padres plus 2.5. Give me the game total over on 5.5. Standard line right now is 7.5. I will bring it all the way down to 5.5, and I will play the over on that one. And then give me one of the hottest bats that's out there. Give me Fernando Tatis to have a hit. That's all we need. Tatis for a hit. San Diego to keep it within 3, right? I just need plus 2.5, so keep it within 2. And then I need the total to go over 5.5. That by itself, plus 110 at DraftKings Sportsbook. No boost, no nothing so far on that one. If you want to get crazy with the Cheese Whiz, the other guy I think that's going to get a hit tonight over on that roster for the Friars, Xander Bogaerts, I think could be good for a hit tonight. If you like that one, you could add Xander into that 3-leg. Bumps it from 110 to 184. So what I'll probably do is play the 3-legger that I just gave you. I'll play that one at a standard unit. I'll add Xander into the mix, or I might do something. I might play around with it a little bit, and add somebody to it, and then do like a half unit, quarter unit on something as we begin to boost it higher and higher. Now let me give you a same game parlay on the ice this evening. I told you that I liked Winnipeg to score at least 3 goals against the Chicago Blackhawks. So if that happens, let's correlate, put it all together. Same game parlay. Give me Mark Scheifele for a point and Gabe Vilardi for a point. Each of those guys do it. Little baby one, but it's a plus 102 over at DraftKings. I will have more on the spreadsheet for hockey tonight. Not quite as many as we've done over the last 3 nights because there are only 4 games on the schedule, but I still like what I see on the ice this evening. By the way, you want to talk about irony, Brad. The game that Tampa has tonight is against the Hurricanes, right? In Carolina. They were supposed to turn around and play again in Tampa. That one has already been postponed, but there's something kind of ironic about the Lightning being postponed in a game against the Hurricanes.
Yeah, that is kind of wild.
I mean, at least Alanis Morissette would tell me that it was ironic. I think it's more coincidental than it is ironic, but I'll go ahead and do the play on words. As always, yield the floor to the fine gentleman from Illinois.
Yeah, don't you think? Thank you, Atlantis, for making us ponder that one, and Lundy as well. Team Huevos parlay play of the day time in the National Football League, and we're going to play this as an SGPX. Yeah, and it's a little bit explicit with a plus 189 juice. I constructed this at DraftKings Sportsbook. Give me Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown as he's going against the Cleveland Browns, and I'm going to pair that with Philadelphia to win that game straight up coming off the bye week. So give me the Eagles on the money line and give me mandatory Montgomery at Jackals anytime touchdown. He has done it every single game this season. Again, uno, dos, tres, mi amigos, plus 189 there at DraftKings. A little bit of background very quickly here. Cleveland, number 14, they're rather mid in rush EPA defense. Well, however, they're giving up 4.70 yards per carry and 6 total touchdowns running back position. Barkley scored 5 TDs already this year, even off the bye week, so he missed a game. He's still number 3 in total red zone touches with 21. So I think he's going to get into the end zone. Same with Dave Montgomery. You look at Dallas, they're improving in rush defense, but they were rock bottom at 32 a couple of weeks ago, number 24 in rush EPAD. They have still allowed 7 total touchdowns and 4.36 yards per carry of the running back position. Montgomery has scored in every single game, 4 touchdowns in total. He is number 13 in red zone touches with 14. So to recap, the team rivals parlay play of the day, SGPX styled. Saquon Barkley, anytime touchdown paired with Philadelphia on the money line, and mandatory Montgomery, Dave Montgomery, anytime touchdown plus 189 there at DraftKings Sportsbook. Elsewhere in the NFL, let's do another SGP. Let's get this at plus money. It's plus 105. Give me Jaden Reed, 50 or more receiving yards, and Green Bay to win straight up on the money line against the Desert Birds of Arizona. I love the fact that you can get this, honestly, at plus money. Arizona, number 27 in pass EPAD on the season. 3 wide receivers against them have already reached the 50-yard mark. He's going to get a lot of Garrett Williams in coverage out of the slot, who's given up a 72.7% catch rate. So a guy that's a bit of a turnstile there on defense. You look at Reed. Yeah, he's only averaging 5.6 targets per game, but he has done this in 4 contests. He is top 5 in yards per reception, yards per target, yards per route run, and average yards of separation per target. The guy's just got skills. All I need is a big 5-0 from him and the pack to win at home, which I think they will, especially with Arizona coming out the highest of highs and knocking off San Francisco on the road last week. Plus 105 there, again, at DraftKings Sportsbook. Tony Pollard, I'm going to take the over just on rush yards, minus 120, 63.5 is the number at BetMGM. Fresh off the bye, a guy is getting close to 70% of the opportunity share. He is number 3 in yards after contact per attempt. He is also top 10 in missed tackles forced. He's hit the over on 63.5 rush yards in 3 of 4 games, and he gets the Colts, who are like quarter horses in the trenches, number 20 in rush EPA defense, giving up 4.22 yards per carry, 119.0 rush yards per game. 3 RBs have gone for at least 64 on the ground against Indy. I think Pollard's going to add his name to that list. And one more in the NFL for you, Brock Bowers. I know it's Aiden O'Connell under center, and it's going to be a bit of a misadventure, especially against the Iron Curtain or the Steel Curtain that is Pittsburgh. But Bowers over on yards, 51.5, I think cashes at a minus 115 juice. Where Pittsburgh has really struggled is against slot receivers. That's essentially what Bowers is. Pittsburgh only number 15 in pass EPAD. To tight ends, they're going to have 4.4 yards per receptions per game, 38.6 yards per game. Okay, I know that's well south of what's needed here. But you look at Jake Ferguson last week, I think that's what Bowers got to do, like 6 for 70. That seems entirely realistic. He's averaging 7.2 targets per game. He's number 2 in total air yards among tight ends, number 2 in deep ball targets, number 1 in yards per route run, number 3 in yak. He has gone over this in 3 of 5 games. It really doesn't matter if it was Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Connell, Jeff George comes out of retirement and starts twirling spirals for the Raiders again. I think Brock Bowers would still hit the over on 51.5 receiving yards. So digging that prop quite a bit. All right, let's go to the college gridiron, shall we? I'm not going to really offer a whole lot of analysis here, just very quickly. Illinois, minus 21.5. Illinois could be minus 29.5, and I'm taking my ILL. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, you're biased, Evans. Hell yeah, I am, but they're playing Purdue. Illinois is at home. Fresh off the bye week. Hudson Card, the starting quarterback for Purdue, ain't playing in this game. And Purdue is coming off getting slaughtered in Madison against the Wisconsin Badgers, losing 52-6. This could be an equal demolition instituted by my Fighting Illini. So I'm going to lay the 21.5, pull that at FanDuel. It's probably going to get steamed up. Actually grabbed it earlier in the week at BetMGM when I was in Indiana at 19.5. Closing line value very much in play for me. The other one I'm going to play, I just see these teams to win straight up. 3-legger money line, Tennessee, Ohio State against the Oregon Ducks on the road, and Kentucky. Tennessee, Ohio State, Kentucky, all three simply win, plus 124 there at BetMGM. All right, I am out of breath. We are out of time here on the Feed 5 podcast. Do us a favor, would you kindly, and drop us a rating and a review at your convenience. Also, fade or follow us on the X. Lundy, always giving it to you there at Nate Lundy. I'm doing the same at Noisy Huevos, the man that loves his Modelo Especial with a lime in the tall boy can there at Denver Broncos games. I'm Brad Evans. Until next time, as always, fade or follow. That is up to you. Have a great weekend.